In the world of coin collecting, few stories capture attention like the incredible tale of the 1980 mint-marked 1-cent USA coin that shocked collectors and experts with its jaw-dropping value of $140,000, turning an ordinary penny into one of the most extraordinary treasures in American numismatic history. A true reminder that sometimes the smallest things in our pockets can hold unimaginable worth, and the story behind this coin is as fascinating as the coin itself. Beginning in 1980 when the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents as part of the ongoing series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, designed by Victor David Brenner, featuring the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But among the countless pennies struck that year, a few left the mint with extraordinary mistakes and minting errors that would eventually elevate their value far beyond imagination, creating legends among collectors who spend their lives hunting for these elusive error coins that bridge history, art, and chance in a single copper-plated treasure. Because during the 1980 production process, the mint used mostly copper-plated zinc planchets, but transitional and striking errors occurred as the mint shifted from the higher copper content coins of previous decades to the new composition, and these rare transitional pieces, some of which retained the earlier metal composition or showed double strikes, off-center designs, or misaligned dies, became the stuff of dreams for those lucky enough to find them, one of which was the legendary 1980 D Lincoln cent that sold for a staggering $140,000 due to its pristine condition, die anomalies, an exceptionally rare double die obverse that showed Lincoln's profile duplicated slightly on the date and lettering, making it not just a coin but a tangible piece of minting history that defied the odds. Because in the massive production process where millions of coins were struck per day, only a handful emerged with such distinct and eye-catching imperfections, and these tiny differences, barely noticeable to an untrained eye, can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth enough to buy a house, as collectors worldwide seek out these hidden gems in old change jars, drawers, or forgotten rolls of pennies from the bank, unaware that a rare 1980 D could be lying in their hands, waiting to be discovered. And what truly adds to the mystique of the 1980 Denver minted Lincoln cent is not only its rare variety but also its exceptional state of preservation, because the coin that achieved its record-breaking auction price had been kept untouched for decades, its brilliant red luster gleaming as though it had just left the press, a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical timing that transformed an everyday object into a priceless artifact. And numismatists explained that during 1980, mint machinery often produced minor inconsistencies due to high output demands, leading to double dies, die cracks, cuds, and lamination errors, and while most were discarded or went unnoticed, the few that survived have become the jewels of coin collections, sparking a frenzy among enthusiasts who scour coin shows, online auctions, and estate sales in hopes of uncovering another 1980 D penny with similar characteristics, knowing that one discovery could change their financial fate overnight, and the deeper story behind this coin ties into the broader narrative of American coinage, reflecting an era of change in materials, minting technology, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. Yet ironically it is imperfection, the small deviations from standard minting, that create the greatest value, a paradox that continues to fascinate both new collectors and seasoned experts alike. And the coin's journey from the Denver Mint presses to the spotlight of high-end auctions embodies the unpredictability and excitement of numismatics, where luck meets knowledge and where even a penny can write its own legend, inspiring thousands to look twice at their spare change and to realize that value often hides in plain sight, because each 1980 D penny tells a silent story about American craftsmanship, economic transition, and the human eye's fascination with rarity. And in many ways, this coin represents more than money. It symbolizes discovery, persistence, and the wonder of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary. As countless collectors continue to study mint reports, error lists, and die variety catalogs, chasing the thrill of unearthing another anomaly from 1980 that might carry the same hallmarks as the one that sold for $140,000. And while not every 1980 D penny holds such immense worth, Even minor die breaks or off-center strikes from this year can command impressive prices ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity, proving that the Lincoln cent remains one of the most collectible and studied coins in American history, its continuous production and numerous design changes creating a field rich with discovery. And as coin enthusiasts share stories, videos, and photographs online, the legend of the 1980 penny continues to grow, inspiring new generations to join the hunt. Fueled by the dream that perhaps in their next handful of change lies the key to a small fortune. And as we reach the end of this incredible journey through history, mystery, and value, remember that every coin has a story waiting to be told, so before you spend that next penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding history in your hand. And if you love learning about these amazing coin discoveries, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible story about the rarest coins hiding in plain sight that could change your life forever. Next, 1964 1 cent USA coin. The story of the 1964 no-mint mark 1 cent USA coin valued at an astonishing $70,000 is a tale that bridges the past and the present, a story about rarity, mistakes, craftsmanship, and the extraordinary value that can hide within an ordinary copper coin that millions once carried in their pockets without a second thought. Because 1964 was a year of transition, change, and high production at the United States Mint, a time when millions of Lincoln cents were being struck to meet the demands of circulation, yet among these millions emerged a few rare pieces that would later become legends, coins that would defy expectations and capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Because something about those 1964 no-mint mark cents, those quietly minted in Philadelphia without the small d or s that identified their origin, was different. A difference so subtle and yet so powerful that today, a single one in the right condition with the right error can fetch up to $70,000 at auction, proving that not all pennies are created equal, and that history sometimes hides its treasures in the smallest of details. And to understand why this coin became so valuable, one must first understand its origins, because in 1964, the U.S. Mint was still producing Lincoln Memorial cents made almost entirely of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them that deep red-brown hue that collectors adore, and the design by Victor David Brenner, with Abraham Lincoln's enduring portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, remained unchanged since its introduction in 1959, yet the story of the 1964 no-mint mark cent lies not in its design but in its rare minting errors, its preservation, and the special circumstances that surrounded its production. For 1964 was also a year of immense coin shortages in the United States, driven by growing demand, hoarding, and production delays caused by the transition from silver to clad coinage in other denominations, and this pressure led the Philadelphia Mint to strike vast numbers of pennies, more than 2.6 billion that year. But even with such a massive output, a few anomalies slipped through, and it is those anomalies that make collectors' hearts race, because the 1964 no-mint mark penny with unique errors such as double die obverse, die cracks, misaligned strikes, and off-center errors have become incredibly rare, and when combined with pristine mint state condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher with full red RD luster, they can command prices that reach as high as $70,000 or more at major auctions, making them some of the most desirable pieces from the 1960s Lincoln cent era. And part of what makes this coin so special is the lack of a mint mark itself. For coins minted in Philadelphia before 1980 typically bore no mint mark, but this lack often adds a sense of mystery and historical depth, as it ties directly to the oldest mint in America and its traditional production methods. And among these coins, those struck with die misalignments or doubled designs became unintentional masterpieces, where a slight shift in the die during striking created visible doubling on Lincoln's profile, the date, or the motto, "In God We Trust," a phenomenon known as a double die error that collectors cherish for its beauty and rarity. And when found in near-perfect condition, these errors transform the simple cent into a high-value collectible that tells a story of mechanical imperfection, human oversight, and numismatic luck, because to produce billions of coins a year means tolerating microscopic inconsistencies, and in that chaos lies opportunity. For every tiny die crack or mispunch detail represents a 1 in a billion accident frozen in time, and while the average 1964 penny remains worth just 1 cent, those rare survivors, preserved in mint rolls, hidden in drawers, or tucked away in forgotten collections, can change hands for tens of thousands of dollars, their journey from ordinary circulation to auction house stardom filled with mystery, because it is not just about metal and mint marks, it's about the stories people attach to them, about the generations who handled these coins, about a piece of American history preserved in copper, and collectors who have studied the 1964 series note that certain die varieties show doubling on the word Liberty, or the date 1964, as well as raised die lines on Lincoln's coat or the memorial columns, and while many of these go unnoticed, experts using magnification tools can spot these variations and authenticate them, a process that transforms an overlooked penny into a historical artifact. And what makes this particular coin worth $70,000 is not only the rarity of its era but its flawless preservation, because coins that have never been circulated, those stored in original mint sets or found in sealed rolls, retain their sharp details and full copper luster, and collectors value this combination above all, as it represents perfection against the odds, the survival of beauty through time, and auction records show that top-graded examples have consistently commanded breathtaking sums, their value driven by scarcity, demand, and the growing popularity of vintage American coins, especially those from the mid-20th century, which represent a nostalgic era in U.S. history, when Lincoln cents were symbols of patriotism and integrity, not just currency, and when the penny was still powerful enough to buy something meaningful, a reminder of a simpler time. And beyond the eras themselves, the 1964 penny's importance lies in its timing, because it marked the end of an era before drastic metal composition changes began affecting U.S. coins, as the mint prepared for economic shifts and material shortages that would forever alter the landscape of American currency, making the pure copper Lincoln cents of the 1960s highly desirable to collectors today, not just for their beauty but for their authenticity, as tangible pieces of American history. And when one of these rare no-mint marked 1964 cents appeared at auction in flawless condition, collectors competed fiercely, pushing its final sale price to an astonishing $70,000, proving that passion, rarity, and condition can elevate even the humblest coin to legendary status. And this has inspired countless coin enthusiasts to search through old jars, estate collections, and family stashes, hoping to find one of these hidden gems, a 1964 penny that might just hold a secret worth a small fortune. And the allure of these coins continues to grow thanks to social media and YouTube channels dedicated to coin hunting, where enthusiasts share stories of life-changing finds, reminding everyone that history might be sitting right in their pocket change, because each coin tells a story of minting technology, of human error, of time itself. And the 1964 no-mint mark penny tells a story of hidden greatness born from ordinary circumstances, and that's why it holds a unique place in the hearts of collectors worldwide, its value not just measured in dollars but in wonder, nostalgia, and the thrill of discovery. And so the next time you pick up an old penny, especially in 1964 without a mint mark, take a close look at it under the light, inspect the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's face. Because those tiny imperfections that escaped the eyes of the mint workers 6 decades ago could be the very ones that transform your penny into a treasure worth thousands. And as collectors know, patience and attention to detail are the keys to success in numismatics, for fortune favors the observant, and as this fascinating chapter of coin history reminds us, the journey of the 1964 no-mint mark 1 cent is not over yet, because new discoveries continue to surface every year, each one adding to the legend. Each one proving that the world of coins is full of surprises. So before you spend your next penny, remember that even the most ordinary-looking coin might have a hidden story waiting to be uncovered. And if you love learning about rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures that could change your life, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the next story might just help you find a coin worth $70,000 hiding in your own pocket.